Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Following Poland's lead, another country wants its gold back as well. Let's explore. Yes, that's right. Yet another country wants its gold back following the lead of Poland. And geographically, they're very close to Poland. That's right. To the south of Poland is a nation of Slovakia. And this nation is a landlocked country in Europe. And it is, yes, indeed, it certainly was affected by the war. And it is the short history of independent Slovakia is one of a desire to move from a mere autonomy within the Czechoslovak Federation to sovereignty, a history of resistance to being called the nation after the hyphen. Yes, indeed. Although World War II thwarted the Slovaks' first vote for independence in 1939, sovereignty was finally realized on January the 1st, 1993. Slightly more than 3 years after the Velvet Revolution, the collapse of the communist regime that had controlled Czechoslovakia since 1948. So there you see it there. Slovakia is right there in Europe, right to the west of Ukraine, south of Poland, the right of the Czech Republic and Austria, and just north of Hungary. So yes, indeed. In fact, we can see here their gold reserves since the second half of 2018. They've increased quite a bit. We'll take a look at this a bit more here in this story from Kitco. And it's really fascinating. Slovakia's former prime minister called on the country's parliament to repatriate its gold from the UK, stating that Britain can't be trusted with the yellow metal. So it may not necessarily, in some of these cases, be because of the lack of faith in the dollar, or some of these nations wanting to get away from the dollar, but it could be other geopolitical reasons such as what's mentioned here, because they don't feel that the United Kingdom can be trusted with their gold. You can hardly trust even the closest allies after the Munich Agreement, former Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico told reporters last week. I guarantee that if something happens, we won't see a single gram of this gold. Let's do it as quickly as possible. In his comment, Fico was referring to a 1938 pact reached by France, the UK, Italy, and Germany, which permitted Adolf Hitler to annex a part of Czechoslovakia. Fico, who is the leader of the country's biggest party, the socially conservative Smer, Fico wants to hold a special parliamentary session on the issue, citing uncertainties around Brexit and a global economic slowdown. Slovakia's gold reserves consist of 31.7 metric tons of gold that are now worth around $1.4 billion, according to Slovakia's central bank spokesman Peter Major. A week after Fico's gold repatriation comments, the former prime minister was charged with racism after he agreed with a racist comment made by a far-right former lawmaker who lost a seat in parliament earlier this year, local police said on Thursday. I question that strongly. Milan Mazarek said that almost the whole nation thinks that if you execute someone for truth, you make him a national hero, Fico said in his message published in his official Facebook page in September. Slovakia's talk of a gold repatriation comes at a time as Poland chose to bring home 100 tons of gold from the Bank of England storage in London. The gold symbolizes the strength of the country, Poland's central bank governor Adam Glapiński told reporters as he announced the move last week. Poland's precious metals will now be stored in the central bank's treasury, National Bank of Poland noted. And by the way, the 18th of December, that's this month, they are going to be releasing, I think, an 8-gram gold coin bar commemorating the move. But very interesting indeed. So yes, we can see here the 31.7 amount of gold here, and then it says 31.69. So they've kind of moved back a bit here, but or what's projected, I guess, or whatever. I guess 0.01% of that has left there. But anyways, but it's very fascinating indeed to see activity happening. Will other nations follow suit, especially nations around the Slavic region? Hungary, I think there's been, Romania, Ukraine, especially with what's going on in Ukraine now, or even with a lot of the corruption there. It may be a while before they get things settled there, but very fascinating indeed with the news there. While we're here, let's take a look at the gold, silver prices. Gold's up just slightly, a little bit. Gold's up. And actually, gold is the biggest mover of the day, or silver is the biggest mover of the day of the precious metals. But with that being said, with the prices kind of easing back a bit, is that weighing as part of the reason why some of these nations are making their move with their repatriating their gold while the prices are a little bit lower? My guess is it's probably not. When you think about it in terms of the amount current account to GDP, it may not make that big of a difference. But still, it is fascinating to see. And here we can see their gold reserves, where the lowest as of recent was 31.69 and then 40.12. Very fascinating. So they're going to want to repatriate their gold. If more nations do this, what does that say about some of these stronger nations holding the gold? And how much of it will they want to get from the United States that are mainly held in the New York Fed? It'll be a fascinating exercise to keep track of this and see where things play out in the future with gold holdings in other nations. So there you have it. As a reminder to everyone, I do post videos on a daily basis. You may not see a notification. You may not see a video in your subscription feed. So if not, because there are some wonky things going on with the algorithm with YouTube, just know that I do post videos daily, and you can find my videos on my channel. If you don't see a video, just go there and you'll see the latest video there. And I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.